Hello and welcome to Fusion Tech. So BlackBerry 10 came out in about 2013, mid-2013, to replace BlackBerry 7. For some reason they skipped 3 numbers, but you know, whatever, I guess it was a big enough change. 10 is an even number, so that's nice. And I've been messing around with it, installing apps, uninstalling apps, and you know, I was actually quite surprised by just how competent the OS is. So quickly I'm going to go over the specs of this device just so you guys know. And this is not going to be a big important factor because BlackBerry, just like Windows Phone, doesn't need a lot of specs to run. Or, you know, Windows Phone, iOS, or BlackBerry don't need many specs to run. Android is the one you need specs for. But this is the BlackBerry Q10. One of the first devices that this launched on. Has a physical keyboard, which we'll get more on that later. This physical keyboard's pretty nice. It has a 3.1 inch screen, which most of you are like, what? But that's just because it has the keyboard. Now, this phone is made more for work or emails and things. It has an 8 megapixel camera, which honestly is the same as the iPhone, 1080p recording, same as the iPhone. So it's not that terrible. Although I've noticed that the optics are, but you know, it's BlackBerry, so. 2 gigabytes of RAM with a Snapdragon S4, okay specs, with a 2,100 milliamp hour battery. It's gotten pretty good battery life. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into the software review. So this is the device in all its glory. It looks decent. It's got a nice texture on the back with that cool BlackBerry logo, the camera, some metal bars, probably for reception and such, and this keyboard. Now, the button is on the top because the phone is small, as I said earlier, only a 3.5 inch screen. But let's get into the OS itself. So I'm going to click that button, swipe up, and there I am. In the OS, I have this BlackBerry 10 wallpaper. So first is this home screen. So this has your date, your phone, and your camera. Now, this is great because it's just an easy way to see your date, and it's a very quick way to get into the phone and the camera. So if I click camera, you'll see how quick it opens. It's pretty quick, and it's not too terrible. So great camera, or great functions on the home screen. Now this is a new feature, this home screen sort of thing in BlackBerry 10.3, but that is because I am actually running the latest version of BB10, which is BlackBerry 10.3, just so everybody knows. To the left is the BlackBerry Hub. Now, this is where everything goes. So this is the notification center. This is everything. So if you click this, you can see your different, email addresses and all of that stuff. So you can add Facebook, Twitter. This is where alerts will come in. If you have Android apps installed, more on that later. If you have Android apps installed, their notifications will come in. So if I click on this, you see it actually looks like an Android notification. And then if I click that, it's got the Android stuff, and you just click delete and it goes away. Emails are the same way. They're pretty nice. It's just a nice way of doing things. So instead of swiping down, there's still some toggles that I'll show you in a moment, but it's all to the left. You don't have to think, pretty much nothing. Another thing is this keyboard is actually backlit. Now, you'll see this across the operating system. The main button, you see this compose button, is bigger and it's a different color. That's so you can pick it out and discern it better. So these buttons are not main ones. This middle button is actually the main one. So if I click on this, it'll open up, select your accounts, which one you actually want to compose from. And then the other two aren't as important as compose. So that's a nice way to really quickly find the button that you need. Now if I swipe over, we're back on this screen, this is also a great way of displaying your wallpaper if you have a really cool wallpaper. Now if you swipe down from the top, these are all customizable, which I wish Android, iOS, Windows Phone, Windows Phone is sort of customizable, but this is completely customizable. You can change where everything is, you can change what is there. Currently I have this flashlight, which is great. It's just a really easy, quick toggle to flashlight. You can change your notification settings. This is a feature that Android, I think, stole from BlackBerry, which is kind of amazing. And then you have a settings button, which just instantly takes you to the settings. Now, to the right, this is where everything is. If you have multiple pages, it'll have more screens. But I actually have all my stuff on one page because I just find that easier. But of course, you can do, whatever you want on your device. So these are all my apps, and these are some of the stock apps. So things like, let me show you more of that design. In File Manager, you have the search button highlighted, but the list view button isn't as important, so it's not highlighted. So the search button is that big blue color. If you go into, let's say, the tutorials app, actually that doesn't have one, never mind. If you go into setup, I know this has it. Nope, that doesn't either. I will show you more about those gestures in a moment. But overall, it just looks good. Contacts, so you can see new contact, new group, and search. You're gonna probably search for contacts more than you add them or add groups. So this is a great, awesome design feature that I personally really like. So this is what the home screen looked like, the one with the date. This is where all your apps go. So there's no multi-app screen like on Android. There's no, double tapping the home button. None of that. All you do is that all your apps stack up here. And if you open up more than 4, if I open up BlackBerry World, it becomes a scrolling list. And then you can just click on these tiny, oops, I missed it. They are really tiny, but there's these tiny little X's that you can click on, and it closes out the apps. And then it brings you back to this screen. That's a nice feature. Now let me show you how to get out of apps. Now there's no home button, and on Android there's no software home button. But if you think about it, this makes sense why there's none of that. The phone has to be small so that you can touch the screen while still having the keyboard, so there can't be physical buttons underneath the screen. And since the screen is so tiny, there can't be software buttons either, because that would just, you wouldn't have any room for anything anymore. So how do you get out of apps? I'm going to open up the browser. So you're in an app, What you do is you hold down on the keyboard and swipe up, and the app goes into this screen. This is a very fluid gesture. I got used to it 5 minutes. 5 minutes I got used to this gesture. It's very nice, it's very quick, and the animations are nice and snappy. So it doesn't hold you back in any way. So if you open something, it opens, and then you can just quickly swipe it away. It's pretty awesome. So it just opens, and then you swipe it away. Nope, that reopened itself. Now, Android apps. I know a lot of you know about this feature. BlackBerry doesn't have apps, period. The BlackBerry app world is so desolate. So in the BlackBerry 10.3 update, they added the Amazon App Store. What? That means that they noticed that there wasn't enough apps, so they actually did something about it. The Amazon App Store is a full version of the App Store. It's not some special BlackBerry version, nothing. So all of the apps, let's say you own a Kindle or even have the App Store on other Android devices, boom, right there. You get access to all of your apps, most of them resized to this size of screen. It's actually pretty amazing. Now, one thing that I did do is, and I will link this in the description, I added the Google Play Store because the Amazon App Store, I just don't like it. This is the Google Play Store, if it'll actually load. My internet connection here at the hotel isn't that quick, so, But that's the Google Play Store, and, that's just an awesome feature, because you're getting the Google Play Store, the Amazon App Store, and the BlackBerry App World. So, people saying there's not enough apps on this phone, they haven't done any research, or haven't done research recently, because all of this stuff is because of the 10.3 update. Now, if you get the 10.3 update, the Amazon App Store comes with the phone, and if you do some special, you have to install 3 apps or something like that, you can get the Google Play Store as well. Now that's really awesome because you can install all your apps. Like Hound here it's not in the Amazon App Store, it's only in the Google Play App Store, but it works on this device. If it'll ever load up. There it is. And just so everybody knows, I actually have like 5 invites, so if you just put your your name or your email address in the comments down below, I can just give you a Hound beta code, but that's besides the point. This works perfectly, in fact. And everything works, it connects to the microphone. It's amazing how they built in the Android compatibility into this phone. I just find that amazing because that's a big feat to run virtual Android apps all on a BlackBerry. And they're pretty snappy, even though the processor and the specs are just not that great on this phone, but it runs them. And that's another topic. This phone is so quick, and it doesn't have that much specs. So, this is an awesome phone. Yeah, I said that. This is an awesome phone. Yep. So yeah, this is a good phone. Now, would I recommend this as a daily driver, as your only phone? No, I cannot, because the size of the screen, watching videos is trash on it. I mean, honestly. I mean, how are you gonna watch videos, on this tiny little screen that is actually a square? You can't quite do that unless you get something like the Z10 or Z30, but BlackBerry OS as a whole, and this device, and really all BlackBerry 10 devices, I think they're great, and I'm glad they have all this intercompatibility, and if you download an APK from the browser, you can install it because it has full Android compatibility, and you still have BlackBerry apps. I just don't think it can suffice as a daily driver. Now, if you're supplied one by work or something, this one is great because you can switch between personal and work accounts. So when you're at work, you can have all your work apps, and when you're at home, you can have all your, personal apps. And I think if your work supplies this phone, it's great. You don't even have to buy another one. But I would not recommend this as an only phone. Now, what would I recommend this for? As a backup phone. Let's say your Android phone or your iOS phone or your Windows phone just dies all of a sudden, or you drop it in water, or it gets a hardware problem, you have to send it in. This is a great backup phone because you can install your Android apps, or if you're on an iPhone or a Windows phone, you can get, the at least equivalent, and you're still getting a great phone. This is also great if you don't have much money, because these are going for under $200. And they're worth it. They're worth it for $200, for under $200. If you're looking for a cheap unlocked phone or a backup or a really inexpensive great backup phone, this is it. It also has great call quality, a halfway decent camera. It's obviously not going to win any awards or anything, but as a BlackBerry, this is the best BlackBerry that I've ever used. And I mean, I've seen other BlackBerries, but this is a great BlackBerry device, and especially with that 10.3 update. It comes with the Amazon App Store, so you already have tons more apps than it used to have, and you can manually install the Google Play Store. And this Google Play Store even allows you to access your own apps, like your purchased apps. It becomes a great device, and it works great. The battery life is amazing. This is a good phone. It's a good phone. I would not recommend it for daily use, because if you want to play videos, or honestly, if you tell your coworkers or friends that you have a BlackBerry, they're going to laugh at you. So, honestly, it's not that bad of a phone. Also, it comes with this little case that you can put it into, and it unlocks and locks the phone like an Apple Smart Cover. And that's nice. It's a good phone. It's a nice, small, compact phone. Not a daily driver, but I would recommend it as a second phone or as a really, really, really inexpensive, unlocked phone. This has been Fusion Tech. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this episode of Fusion Tech. You can see my other videos to the right, and check those out because they're good, just like this one, or something like that. The new, the Hawaii compilation is coming soon, and you should watch that when it comes out. So, thanks for watching this episode of Fusion Tech. Black.